Hi everyone, welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Hebrew Bible, or Christian Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered bits and pieces of the prophetic text. What I ended up with was my life story, pretty much. It's called the Book of Zion. It makes me the Zion because I wrote the book. That was the final, second to the last requirement of becoming Zion. The final requirement is the publication of the text, which is exactly what I'm doing. So I am finalizing my prophecy. And today I'm reading from the second part of the, what is it, 14th chapter of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the 11th chapter of the Book of Zion. It's called I Dwell in a High and Holy Place. And I'm just going to take up where I left off. It goes like this. In this chapter, the Grey claim the Zionite people as their own. We are Grey. We belong to them. We are with them on a level that no other human can understand. Because the only way to know them is to become as we, the people of Zion, are. You can't get high without being turned on genetically. Once your gray DNA is activated by the THC in the pot, you become one of theirs. One of mine. Now, our attention is returned to Moses. The Grey remember the acts carried out by Moses when he freed Israel from the Egyptians. Zion is foretold to follow in his footsteps. She also must confront a powerful government and seek to end an unjust war which abuses her people. Both the nation of Israel, represented by Jerusalem, and the soon-to-be created nation of Zion are told that they both belong with the Grey. Both people are named by the Grey. Both nations will know the security of Grey protection. The Grey take care of their own. The Grey acknowledge here that the people of Israel and Zion are both ready to reunite with their parental aliens. Our long ordeal and the much longer ordeal of the Israelites will at last come to an end. We are now acceptable to the Grey. We are capable of taking on the responsibilities of the telepathic way. We have become a moral people. We are told to have no fear. Gather together. I will bring you together from all directions, everyone that is called by the Grey's name. All who are Grey are protected by the Grey. The people of Zion are told that their sorrow shall turn to joy, their pain rewarded, because the Grey watch over them. When Zion's people learn their truth, they will come singing to Zion, praising the Grey. The Grey are our protectors, so we have no reason to fear. Our captors are just men. The Grey can ensure our safety and well-being. They are much more powerful than mere humans. Their knowledge and psychic abilities are advanced enough to overcome any human attempts as interference, so we are safer than we know. The gray are our protectors. We are also not to fear the Christians. The Son of Man, one of Jesus' titles, is to be as grass, one of Zion's names for marijuana. Jesus was one of us. Archaeological evidence indicates that the Essenes used marijuana. They were known for their use of herb. Yet another of our names for marijuana. So Jesus was a Zionite. We have no need to fear the church. In the Bible, there are many references to the gray having godlike powers over nature. It must have seemed that way to the primitive humans. The gray understand nature. They used natural events to their advantage. This gave early humans a elevated idea of what the gray's true abilities were. Its supernatural claim over nature is the result of the prophet's misunderstanding of scientific methods. Communication between Gray and prophets were hindered by the primitive nature of humanity. The prophets interpreted science as godlike powers. Thus, they make claims not intended by the Gray, granting them the status of the mythic god. The Gray may not be what humans imagine their gods to be, but they are still able to keep their promises. They will still establish our nation. The Gray created the prohibition against marijuana. They also provided us with the proof that the war on drugs will end when the Gray come to make first contact. The Gray may not be the gods humans believe in, but they are still very powerful allies. 3,000 years ago, they foretold the creation of a nation called Zion, created by an alien race. Now they are about to prove their right to be here by creating that very nation as foretold. When the when the prophet Isaiah speaks for us, our days of suffering will end. Our creators left us their testimonial as to our creation. They carried out their plan as foretold. The prophecy is the proof. I have already allowed Isaiah to speak on my behalf. Now the Gray tell us to observe the Sabbath. If we set aside the Sabbath for spending time with the Gray, they will bless us. The Sabbath begins at sundown on Friday night. It ends at sundown on Saturday night. That's our party time. What are we supposed to do on Sabbath? Party. We are supposed to gather together and get high. It's our quality time with the Gray. But it's more than that. We are to only spend time with the Gray. It's their day to enjoy our company for its own sake. So it's their time with us. So we don't do anything else. We let the Gray have their one day a week to enjoy us, to teach us, to do whatever. To have our full attention. It's their day to visit with us. If we're willing to set aside this one 24-hour period, this one day for the Gray, they're willing to ensure our lives are filled with all good things, all the good things that we need to be happy. Perhaps that's every Zionite's day to serve as priests. One day of service for the lifetime of peace. That's a pretty damn good deal. This chapter introduces the location of the Gray's spaceport. The Lord's house will be built in the mountains, in the tops of the mountains. There are no there are reports of mountaintops being used by UFOs, even now, especially in Antarctica. But the plan is for the Rockies. Colorado is the location of the Nation of Zion, the Rocky Mountains. It is to Zion that the nation will go to interact with the Gray. The air in the mountains are closer to the Gray's natural mix of chemicals. The gravity is also better for them, but mainly it's because of climate change. The mountains are the safest place on earth these days. It is from the Nation of Zion that the world will be taught the ways of the Gray. Zion is given judgment. The law is given to Zion. But Israel speaks for the Gray too. The word of the Lord will come from Jerusalem. Again, Israel is cited, remembered, given a place of honor. The temple will be at Jerusalem. There is where the priests oversee human Gray contact. Israel is redeemed. This chapter also introduces the prisoners, those like me who are held as true captives, those who set out their sentence for being Zionites. They're saints. They have proven their worth to the Gray. They didn't narc on anyone. They served the Gray by providing drugs to other Zionites. The prisoners are acknowledged by the Gray. We are told that when the Gray build up Zion, when the prophet Zion appears, so will the Gray. The aliens will make first contacts when the nation of Zion gathers to end the oppression. The Gray will come. The Gray inform us that our transgressions are blotted out, our sins forgotten. The people of Zion get a freebie. We get to start over. Our past won't come back to haunt us. Zion is our new beginning. We are reborn, if you will. Our defense is set. The Most High God has provided us with His words so that we can free ourselves and be given a new homeland in the mountains, where we will enjoy the blessings of first contact. The Gray have provided for their children, the people of Zion and Israel. And I'm going to stop there because the next, the dissertation is coming next, and we don't really have time to get started with that before my time is up. So, this is just such an awesome chapter. The Bible is such an awesome book. Well, okay, everything up to Malachi. It's like the New Testament, treat that as a false testament, except for the first four books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And from there, you just kind of have to piece it together, cancel out everything that doesn't jive, and come up pretty much with what Jesus said. Because Jesus was a prophet of God. May the Gray watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. And may they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Stay happy and high. Know I love you. I'll see you later. I'll never say goodbye.